with her attorney and the people are represented. Would you have Mr. Bernstein on the stand, still subject to direct by Mr. Smith and all 12 plus 4 in the box? Continue, Mr. Smith.
You're going to come and approach up mine and Mark?
Yes.
Keep this 9 mark next in order.
I'm going to approach the witness.
Please.
Mr. Bernstein, showing you what's been marked as People's 9. If you could look at that, please. You recognize the letter?
I do.
Who is the letter from?
It was from Jonathan Hearn.
And what is the approximate time frame for receipt of this letter after the death of Robert Limon?
It was approximately 2 weeks. From the death of his death?
Yes.
It was about a month from Rob's death. It was about 2 weeks after Jonathan called me.
Now,
2 weeks after Jonathan called me?
Your Honor, I would request People's 9 be moved into evidence at this time.
Any objection? Be admitted.
Mr. Bernstein, the item that just got moved into evidence, People's 9, did you provide this letter to Detective Meyer?
I did.
How many times did you speak with Detective Meyer?
Several.
Just to go over them, the first time you provided information about a phone call and text messages.
The first time, I actually called him a few days after Rob's murder, and I wanted to go put up flyers in Tehachapi. So I wanted his advice on if we should do that.
Okay.
And then the second time was the day Jonathan had called me. I talked it over with my wife, and we decided that that phone call was weird, and the voicemail he left me was very strange. It was strange that he was coming around. And so that was the second time I called Detective Meyer. And then I met with him the following Monday.
Now, in speaking with Detective Meyer, were you giving that information to assist in solving the murder of Robert Limon?
Yes,
Were you aware of whether or not there was a reward if you provided information?
I did. Yes.
Was the reward the driving factor for you providing information to Detective Meyer?
No.
Did you provide any other information, or were you able to provide any other information beyond the letter, the phone calls, and that there was a relationship between Jonathan and Sabrina?
Not that I recall. And the voicemail.
You provided one time that you spoke with Sabrina about Jonathan Hearn after Robert's death. Did you have any other conversations with Sabrina specifically about Jonathan?
I ran into her at the grocery store probably about a month and a half after Rob's death. And I hadn't seen her in a while. I'd been avoiding her on purpose, and I'd been avoiding her house. I did not want to run into Jonathan. And so I just happened to run into her at the store. I gave her a hug, told her I missed her. She had her kids with her, and the kids mentioned Jonathan.
Objection calls for hearsay.
Assistant.
So,
1 second. Next question, Mr. Smith. Beaster.
And did the kids talk with you?
the kids did speak with me. Yeah, they gave me a hug.
Do you recall what store this was at?
This was in Silver Lakes. It was the Silver Lakes Market.
Okay. Now, after the children spoke with you, they did provide you some information, correct?
Yes.
What was Sabrina's reaction to that information being provided?
She changed the subject, kind of hushed them away.
Now, this information, did you tell that to Detective Meyer?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing further.
Cross. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Brennan.
Good morning.
Mr. Bernatine, at the time of Rob's death, you and your wife were still together, is that right?
Correct.
You're now divorced?
Yes.
And you indicated that you knew about the reward. Is that the reward from the railroad company? Railroad?
Yes, a few days after Rob's murder, the BNSF posted a reward.
How much?
It was $100,000.
And you and your wife provided information that ultimately led to Jonathan Hearn being arrested. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And did you and your wife receive that money from BNSF?
No.
Did you make a claim for it?
No.
Did your wife?
Not that I'm aware of.
Now, you met the Limons in about, I think it was 2008, you said, is that right?
Yes.
And that was when they moved into the Silver Lakes area in Helen.
They had actually lived there longer. That was just when we met them.
Okay. Was that when you and your wife moved into the Silver Lakes area?
No.
Okay.
No, we moved there and we've actually lived there a long time. We grew up there.
Okay. Did the Limons live anywhere near you and your wife?
In 2008, they lived approximately 2 miles away.
And did they move subsequent to that to move closer to you and your wife?
The Limons did not.
Okay. So they remained at the same location up until Robert's death, is
Yes.
that right? And you remained at the same location up until Robert's death?
We actually moved.
Okay. That's why I was curious. At what point did you and your wife move?
We moved 2012 or 2013. I can't recall off the top of my head.
And in a relationship to the Limons residence, how far away were you from them when you moved in 2011, 2012, in that time frame?
We didn't move any closer or further away. It was about the same.
Now, you indicated that your wife became friends with Sabrina when she met her doing her hair. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And your wife and Sabrina were best friends, is that right?
Yes.
And you and your wife became best friends with both Rob and Sabrina.
Yes.
And you would do things together with you and your kids as a couple, right?
Yes.
And then a group of you, including your wife and yourself, would also take trips and vacations with the Limons as adult trips only. Would that be accurate?
Yes.
In other words, there were a number of you couples that would go on adult trips only without the children. Is that right?
Yes.
And how frequently would you do these adult trips only?
I would say maybe once a year.
Now, some point, you said you began working with Jonathan Hearn at approximately, I think it was 2011, is that right?
Yeah, that's just a rough guess. Best guess. Yeah.
The,
He was 21, so whenever that was.
okay. Now, you indicated that when you were in contact with him and worked with him when he was working as a paramedic, he was 21 years old, and he was already a paramedic. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And you indicated you felt he was highly intelligent. Is that right?
Yes.
And very, you said, I think, almost introverted in some ways?
Yeah, I said he seemed sheltered.
Okay. And you indicated he was constantly writing things down. Is that right?
He was typing on his computer.
Okay. Did he, to your knowledge, did he appear to be extremely religious in any way?
No.
Okay. He never came across to you as being extremely religious?
No, not at work.
Did he ever identify himself as a, quote, conservative Christian to you?
No. Not at work during the time frame you're talking.
Well, during the time frame that you knew him from 2011 until 2014, when you were having contact with him, did he ever indicate to you he was a conservative Christian?
The first time I had indication that he was Christian, and was probably the voicemail. I might have known he was Christian, but it wasn't a topic or an issue, or I didn't even remember that he was Christian if he told me.
Now, you say the voicemail, that's when you played for Detective Meyer?
Correct.
And what led you to believe in that voicemail that he was a conservative Christian?
References to God.
A lot of them?
There were several.
And when was it approximately that you received that voicemail?
It was the Friday following Rob's funeral.
I want to get the time frame down correctly. Rob was killed on August 17th. Is that right?
Correct.
His funeral was August 22nd.
It was the following weekend. Sound about right?
And then it was approximately 2 weeks later you got the voicemail?
So I don't have a calendar, but if the funeral was on the 22nd, and I believe his funeral was on a Sunday, it was the following Friday, so it would have been 29th. 29th. 27th.
Now there was the incident, I want to go over that a little bit. You indicated you were getting text messages continuously from Jonathan Hearn, complimentary text messages and asking other information from when you saw him in the bar in late 2012, beginning of 2013. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
and he wanted me to invite him out to Silver Lakes.
Okay. And you never did that, though, right?
No.
Did you provide those text messages to Detective Meyer also?
I do not believe I did. I do not think I had them anymore. This was a span of a while, and I had no reason to save those. So I deleted them like I deleted any other text messages.
So with regards to those text messages, there's no evidence that you actually received those, that you have with you, physically?
Correct.